Rachel Heath first spotted the scarves on trees like this one a few days ago.
I think maybe they was thinking nature was a little too cold.
But a closer look tied to the fabric is a small message
It's nice to know that the thought was wrong.
saying, "Take me. I'm here to keep you warm."
I think that there's a lot of caring people out here for somebody to do something like that, you know. Matter of fact, it makes me want to take off one of my scarves and leave it on the tree.
How often did you see the scarves up and down on the
Every
benches?
day.
Yeah?
Yeah, I live right up the block here, and it's just been recently, past month or so, and it's either every other day, it's either more scarves, and I even seen gloves.
Most homeless take advantage of shelters to stay warm, but residents say they still see some trying to tough it out on the benches.
I think that's a fantastic idea for the winter, and I do think they need to kind of spread the awareness a little bit more about shelter, especially in the winter as cold as this. But this was a really nice gesture.
It's not clear if it's just one person leaving the items. There are several tracks of footprints near the scarf. Perhaps it's one person inspiring others to get involved.
Who do you think might be behind this?
I have no clue, but whoever it is, well done them for trying to do something nice in the winter.
Maybe that's what we need to do is spy out and see if we can spot somebody who's putting them out. But you know what? It's a good thing.
I wish I had thought about it. I would like to have my name attached to that.
F.H. Gillingham opened his business in 1886. He stocked his store with every imaginable necessity and treasure. And 4 generations later, his great-grandchildren are doing the same.
We carry everything from cow manure to caviar with a farmstead cheese and a bottle of Corton Charlemagne. So it kind of covers it all. I mean, anything you can imagine, we probably have had at one point or another.
In the store, you'll also find old typewriters, scales, and handwritten inventory sheets. The family's way of sharing what they call a true American success story.
I always feel that we can feel the footsteps of our relatives that have walked here for years before us, and I think that the people that come to the store, and particularly our local people that really are loyal to us, really appreciate that.
Woodstock, Vermont is known for supporting mom and pop shops like this. The village is also known for the Woodstock Inn, Village Green, and agriculture. It's also home to 5 Revere bells in town made by Paul Revere, and 3 of the state's covered bridges.
We have the Tapsville Bridge, which is red and much longer. We have the Lincoln Covered Bridge on the west end of the village, and of course the Middle Bridge.
Listen closely, adrenaline junkies. You're just a short drive away from this. And this. And yep, this too.
Bigger cliff.
And if dangling from cable ropes is a little out of your comfort zone, there are other attractions for you and your family to see.
Most people come and do the classic tour. They want to, explore the chasm, hike around on, 1 to 5 miles of trails. The most popular option, in addition to that, is taking the float tour, and that's rafting or tubing. Tubing in the summer when it's a hot day is a huge draw.
Since 1870, All Sable Chasm has thrilled and amazed all who have come to explore. Its unique history has attracted more than 10 million visitors.
Before automobiles, back in the day, late 1800s, tourists would come up by steamer on Lake Champlain and then take a short railroad from there to here, or by stagecoach. But those that are visiting the Adirondacks, Au Sable Chasm was one of their most impressive stops along their journey.
It's been called the Grand Canyon of the East and a Yosemite in miniature, and for many, it still is today.
Tourism is one of the biggest economic engines for the Adirondacks, so we certainly try to do our part, and we get 100,000 or so guests every year.
Depending on your interest, you can spend all of 2 hours at this majestic gem, or 2 days, soaking in the story of ages, and if you're anything like me, crossing items off the bucket list. There are more than 63 billion acres in the Adirondack Park, but it's known for the high peaks. And each one of them has something different.
From my own perspective, Algonquin is probably the most technical of them all for a climb. Gothic is probably the steepest.
To name a few more, Mount Marcy is the highest peak in New York State with an elevation of 5,344 feet. Big Slide Peak is only number 27 when it comes to height, but one of the better day hikes in the area, and in many people's opinion, number 1 for the views. As for Whiteface Mountain, this peak is known as a winter destination, the Olympic Mountain. But believe it or not, it's a hot spot come summertime, especially if you're into mountain biking or other adventurous activities.
The slack rope, there is a bungee cord, there's the rock wall climbing, there's the Spider-Man course.
And I might not be a 46er, but I can tell you the hike to this 360-degree view is worth it.
What's a 46er? Somebody that I am not. A 46er is somebody who has climbed all 46 high peaks in the Adirondack region.
When you're on top of the Adirondack high peaks, you're turned off from the rest of the world. It's right here where people reconnect with themselves, with nature, and so much more.
The scenery, the greenery, the beauty of the lakes, the ponds, the river, the birds, the wildlife, everything that's around you, it's really what makes this place so special.